All right, the Raiders get some good news right before the Chiefs game. We'll get right into that. If you're new to the channel, I cover the Raiders because I like them. My main channel is on the Detroit Lions. I'm a Detroit Lion fan, but I wanted to cover the Raiders because they just don't get the love nationally like they should. Huge fan base, and it's like national media. What's up? Why? How come we're not talking about the Raiders? I get it, a little bit down this year, but things are looking up. So here's what's going on. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to be without a few key players, McKinnon, Donovan Smith, but this is the big one, Kadarius Toney. Now, you could argue Kadarius Toney's lost them more games than he won them this year, but he dropped a ball against the Detroit Lions that ended up being a pick six. He also dropped a huge pass at the end of that game, and then he was offsides, of course, just a couple weeks ago in that controversial play. But the key is Kadarius Toney is a key wide receiver for the Chiefs, and without him, they're down playmakers. They just don't have them this year to begin with, and now they're going to lose another one. So Travis Kelce is just for the first time showing his age. I mean, I didn't realize he's the same age or a year older than Gronk. I mean, the guy's older. We all know about his cringe off the field stuff with Taylor Swift, and it's like he's just not the same. And Kadarius Toney losing him as well. So now it really hampers what the Chiefs want to do. They just have not been as dynamic. I mean, you look back when they had Tyreek Hill and a prime Travis Kelce, it's just like, oh my gosh, like what? There's nothing you could do. It's not the same team. They're still very dangerous, but it's just not the same team because you look here, Patrick Mahomes has the second most attempts of anyone in the league. So they are going to throw the ball. They're trying to throw the ball. They're like a team that's like trying to establish, you always hear trying to establish the run. The Chiefs are always trying to establish the pass, and they just can't quite get it going, even though Mahomes' numbers are, I mean, he's like fifth in the league in yards. He's fourth in the league in yards. Like a lot of good things, but his attempts are the second most. His averages down to 7.1. Let's look at that. That's where you really see it. He's all the way down 16th. I mean, with Tyreek Hill and when they're humming along, they're in the top 5 in their average completion, excuse me. So that is huge for the Raiders because I just love this matchup now. Oddly enough, I know you never want to go play the Chiefs, but they're not what they've been in the past. So here's what the Chiefs are saying as they gear up for the Raiders. Head coach Andy Reid, AP has done a really nice job with that group, and they're playing hard. Matt Nagy, offensive coordinator, you can see how hard they play, and they're talented. And then here's the best one, the Crosby-Mahomes rivalry, which, by the way, just love Crosby. Crosby's a guy that he seems like he's being too rough out there. It's like that's how you feel like when you're playing high school football or junior high football. There's that one kid that's like, man, you're playing a little too rough, take it easy, but it's the NFL. That's not a thing. He's just different. And I love it. And I love that he goes after Mahomes. It's been fun the last couple of years. This is what Matt Nagy says. I can remember Max when he was coming out of college and just seeing who he was and how well he played then, a little smaller at the time. And now he's put on weight, strength, confidence, and played great. So I think you'll see two competitors on the top of the league at their positions and their side of the ball. There's definitely a mutual respect between the two. But when you get between those lines on game day, none of it is ever personal. But I think it's cool to be on the sideline to see the fire that they have. Division game, everything is oddly on the line for the Raiders. And what I mean by that is just like, we got to win. I mean, we can't lose. If we lose, we're mathematically out. Right now, the Raiders have a 2% chance of making the playoffs, but a win here bumps it all the way up to like 20. So they're still a long shot, but at the same time, if you win this game, if you're a Raiders fan, you've got to be so pumped to see Max Crosby continuing to be an animal. The best thing about him, he plays like a wild Tasmanian devil, yet I think he's only missed like one game in his whole career, and that was because of like COVID, or it wasn't even an injury. Like this dude is out of this world. So you get good news here in that the Chiefs are down a primary wide receiver and a running back. in an already somewhat depleted weapon offense for the Chiefs. And so you have an opportunity now to kind of just, I don't want to say steal one, but that's kind of how it feels. I mean, the Chiefs, this is a divisional game where you have an opportunity to kind of walk in there, sneak away with one, and get a victory. It's great for the playoff chances. It's great for morale. It's great for AP if you like him. It's great to just momentum for next year, to find out who you got this year that you can possibly transition into next year. So let me know your thoughts in the comments on this one. Raiders, let's do this. And we'll see all of you on the next one.